One of the reality shocks that I experienced when I entered my late 20s last year is how incredibly lonely life can get very fast after you're out of school. And especially when you're in the phase of figuring out what next to do with the rest of your life in terms of career, relationship, finance, and even very recently, as I have realized, faith as well. And it feels much more frustrating because life is fast paced at that time. By the time you're done dedicating time and energy to learn a new skill, to increase your earning capacity, a newer demand in the industry emerges. And oh, of course, you have to learn that new skill too. And this is just one out of the many sectors of life you're expected to grow in order to be considered a balanced and developing adult in reality. This has made me to view relationships a bit more differently these days. I realize how fleeting life is, and it just makes me not want to waste time in activities or building relationships with people who are not thinking long term. Now, I have naturally always preferred a small circle of friends. And to the glory of God, I have a few long-term friends from my former school days. But recently, due to my healing journey and reconnecting with Jesus Christ and my career change, it's been tougher being able to relate these changes with some of my current friends. And I have been nurturing a burning desire to seek out more female friends, especially who are heading the same direction as I am in these critical areas of my life. And I know you desire the very same. Most of us dream of a life where going through the inevitable ups and downs, goods and bad, the shedding of former self, and the growth of finding ourselves is experienced not alone, but with the presence of that one or more soul sisters that just sees us in a way we're not easily seen by others. That is why we fantasize about the on-screen female friendships, and we adore the female friendship between public figures we admire. Most of us wish we could have extraordinary friendships like that, especially in today's fast-paced society. So I don't want today's video to be about the typical friendship is dying videos where they discuss all the problems and leave us with no solution on how to actually make friends. I for sure know that most of us who clicked on this video right now aren't here to hear exactly what they already know is wrong with female friendships. In this video, I am both honored and eager to present a different approach to a solution, which is what I believe most, like myself, desire and clicked for. So I have a theory that I have trial tested and confirmed from my personal experiences and experiences of people from around the world and people that I personally know as to why most female friendships these days end up in deep heartbreak and disappointment. And the first hypothesis of this theory is that most friendships that end up in disappointments and heartbreaks are usually as a result of a relationship between ladies or women who are not operating from their divine feminine energy. And we all know when a woman is out of alignment with a God-given female essence, she is somewhere within the toxic spectrum. Second hypothesis is women who are in their divine feminine energy usually have the longest healthy, thriving female friendships. And I'm going to explain the difference and why you need to understand this reality if you're going to build a healthy, long-term potential female friendship in this era. I will explain this in the later chapters of this video. There is a verse from the Bible that says, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing." This verse made me realize that all forms of long-term relationships, which requires trust and utter commitment between two or more people, can only happen between the right kind of people. It takes the right kind of people to make a marriage work, because it actually takes a husband to see or to spot a wife. So it takes a man and a wife to make a marriage work. The same way it takes a friend to make a friendship work. He who seeks a friend must first show himself a friend. Again, that's why the Bible warns against unequally yoking ourselves to people in relationships. No matter how you do it, no matter how you want to put it, there will always be a clash of beliefs, values, and actions. God's wisdom just brings a clear, simple, and truthful perspective to issues that we see as complex. Love, love, love it. So in this video, I will be breaking down the reasons why divine feminine women make the ideal best friend in healthy relationships, and 3 secrets that will show you how to spot these kind of women in the crowd of any social setting you are searching from. So buckle up. These secrets are not the common secrets you hear on the internet, but trust me, they will take you 10 steps ahead on your friendship hunting journey this year, if you understand them. If you're watching this channel for the first time, you are most welcome. I'm Damsey, and on here I like to share and discuss all things beauty, femininity, mindset, and lifestyle. If subjects like this pique your interest and your vibe, consider subscribing, join the community, and turn on my post notification to get every update from this channel. So without any further ado, let's cut right into the heart of the cake. First thing on my list that makes the divine feminine woman the ideal friend is her mindset and her attitude toward friendship. Now, when I mentioned the term friendship material, it's almost the same equivalent of saying wife material. You know how it is a thing, and even the Bible stresses this a lot. The Bible says, whoever finds a wife finds a good thing. And what that tells me is that when you're talking about relationships, when you're talking about the coming together of two people in a commitment, in a committed relationship, be it friendship, be it marriage or a romantic relationship, those are a form of committed relationships, right? So when it comes to things like that, it really takes the right person to make it work. So it starts with the right person. The wrong person can never make it work. So it takes a friend material to make a friendship work.
And the glaring reality is most of us are not friendship material.
So mindset and attitude is very important. And why is this important? That is because her mindset and her attitude toward friendship is a reflection of her subconscious mindset and attitude toward herself. He who seeks a friend must first show himself a friend. I believe this is something that was said in the Bible. I think in the book of Proverbs in the Bible. I can't remember, but this is just a paraphrase. It says something like, he who seeks a friend must first show himself a friend. So that is, if you want to attract a friend or you want to get a friend, you must first become friendly yourself. So something I have observed in a lot of modern women and how they treat friendship is they pretty much have the wrong mindset about what friendship should be. Some of them prioritize hanging out just simply for the aesthetic of it, taking photos and writing stories and posting and pretty much painting a picture to the world of a kind of friendship which in reality does not truly exist. Their mindset and attitude toward the concept of friendship tells a lot about their true intentions. Sometimes it can be that they desire it for all the wrong reasons, and sometimes it can be that they have no intentions at all. They just want to see how it goes. Like all those folks that are like, well, let's see how it goes. Well, girl, we're not seeing how it goes, okay? No. So that is just one way you can quickly tell a person who is not in her divine feminine energy. You can quickly, like, that is one giveaway that this person is definitely not in her divine feminine energy. And this is a problem because a quietly toxic or loudly toxic feminine lady tends to start off with a shallow approach because of her lack of genuine desire and intention, which are pretty hard to fake. While a lady in her divine feminine energy approaches friendship differently. She seeks to know her friend intentionally and at a level with which she has truly met herself and truthfully known herself. She sees you, your heart, your soul, your treasures, as well as your character blemishes. She prioritizes this at the early stage of the relationship because to her, the whole process is about you and uncovering you. And this is definitely one clear distinction between a woman who is in her divine feminine energy and a woman who is in the toxic spectrum of her femininity. And this is something that you definitely need to put in mind and be mindful of if you want to be able to spot someone who is actually friendship material. Now remember guys, it starts with the person who is truly a friend. You cannot make a friendship work with a girl or with a lady that is not a friend, just like you can never make a marriage work with a woman who is not a wife. So the same wisdom applies here, okay? Yeah. So the second thing that makes a divine feminine woman the ideal friend for you is her desire for you. Her desire for you. Listen, guys, everyone who is actively in your life, everyone who is in a space where they have access to what is going on in your life, what projects you're working on, that sort of stuff. People who just have that close access to your life, right? Each and every one of them, they hold a subconscious desire, a subconscious motivation in their heart for you. And honestly, one thing I always tell myself is that you can never guess a person's desire, right? It is like one of those impossible tasks, right? You can never truly know what is in a person's heart toward you, right? But one thing you can always know, and one thing you can always trust, is once you're able to tell which energy is this person operating on. That is why I talk about feminine energy, toxic feminine, toxic masculinity. Guys, you need to get to a place where you can read these things. Because, so for me, one thing I always tell myself is once I can truly determine what energy this person is operating on, if it's a good energy, I would know that, okay, whatever this person's desire or motive is for me or toward me, it is not something for me to be worried about, right? But the moment I notice that this person is not in her divine feminine energy, which means she is basically in the spectrum of toxicity. Sometimes it can be a quiet toxic or a loud toxic, right? Depending on the person's personality. But basically, they're still within the toxic frame. So if I realize that, okay, this person is within the toxic spectrum, I would be mindful. I would definitely be mindful. And the wise thing would be to just keep the person at arm's length. Now, here is the thing. The divine feminine woman, she wants to serve. So whatever her desire or her motive is toward you, it is all about, how can I serve this person? How can my presence in this person's life better this person's life or add to this person's life? She's looking towards giving. She has this mentality of, outpouring what she already has within her. So how can my presence in Cynthia's life, how can my presence in Fatima's life, how can my presence in Betty's life, how can my presence in Patience's life make her life better? How can it enhance her life? That is what a divine feminine woman's desire is, her subconscious desire for you. Her service comes with no expectation of repayment because it is emanating from a place of love and respect that she holds for you.
And also a place of God's grace which abundantly powers and enhances her divine femininity.
The same way she holds it for herself. Whereas a modern female friend only wants to be around when there is something for her to benefit, when there is something for her to take, to enhance her own self and herself alone, even if it comes at your own detriment. As long as there is something present in your own life that is there for her to take, that can essentially better her own life and better how she feels about herself, she is going to be present. She is going to be present. But a divine feminine friend's deepest desire is to always see you with your crown on your head in every situation. So I'm a bit of an old school person when it comes to like my taste in movies. So if you've seen The Tudors, right? The Tudors is like a depiction of the real life experience of King Henry VIII Tudor of England, right? Back in the 1500s, basically. So there was this part in the show at the time when the king was married to his, I believe, the fifth wife. called Catherine Howard. She was pretty much like a child bride. She was like in her late teens, which is pretty much young as far as the history of queens goes in England as at that time. So she was one of the youngest queens that was married to a king, right? She was also someone who was not familiar with the life at court, the politics, and all those little things that goes with being a royal. So she was married so early, and when she was married into the royal family and as queen, she basically had to rely on a lot of people around her. And usually back in those times, queens and royal ladies, they used to have like ladies. I believe they call them ladies in waiting. I'm not entirely sure, but they always have ladies with them that pretty much help them with their day-to-day activities. So these ladies act like sort of like their personal assistants, their friends. So, and a lot of them tend to build friendship with these ladies. So Catherine Howard, right? She was this girl with, she was this imperfect lady. She was a typical imperfect, young lady who unfortunately had some habits that kind of worked against her at the end of her life, right? So she had some bad habits. And a lot of us, none of us are perfect. Even divine feminine women are not perfect, right? So Catherine Howard, like most of us, right, she was imperfect. And she had these bad habits that is very unaccepting of a queen. And being surrounded by a lot of ladies in waitings, and at some point she actually believed that these ladies were her friends. This became the ladies that she would interact with for most of the time, because the king has to handle his own kingly business, and queens usually handle their own queenly business, right? So these ladies were more or less like her friends. And you can read this up in your history book. I don't want to like narrate the whole thing, but at the end of Catherine Howard's life, what happened? She was caught committing adultery, and she was basically like, this was something that even at the point when rumors were flying around that she has been meeting with men due to not being sexually satisfied by the king. At the time that the rumors were flying around, some of her maids, some of her closest ladies in waiting were aware of these rumors, and they did not tell her, right? They did not tell her. They already knew that she was already giving impression, and this is definitely going to lead to her downfall. They did not advise her, and they did not watch out for her. And at the end of the day, she was caught and she was beheaded. And these ladies in waiting, she actually treated them very well. She treated them very well, because before she came into her queenship, the other queens that came before her, they were very queenly ladies. So they did not have that level of familiarity with their ladies in waiting, like in such a way that the ladies were even aware of, their personal experience and stuff like that. So Catherine Howard was different in the sense that she was more open, she was more childlike and open and free with these ladies, right? And at the end of the day, they literally watched her self-destruct herself, and they watched the world, catch her in the act, and they did not protect her. They did not cover her. Why is this? Because these ladies were never there to serve her. At least the lady that actually contributed to the Queen Catherine's downfall, she was never there to serve her. Queen Catherine trusted this lady as a friend, but this lady was only there for the benefit of being the queen's lady and every other benefits that she was getting. But she did not care about the queen's crown. She did not care to put the queen right, despite everything that she was doing wrong. In fact, history has it that the girls were even enabling the queen. They were enabling the queen. And I mean, it's a whole lot of story. So ladies, when it comes to female friendships, one of the things you definitely want to be able to gauge, and like I said, it all starts from the first point. It starts from who the lady is, right? A person who is a friend indeed is a person who is radiating in their divine feminine energy. And this is a person that will be able to have a desire that is good for you. At the very least, if this person cannot add to your life, They would never literally just stand by and watch you throw your life down the drain, because we all go through seasons and we all go through many things in life, and sometimes a lot of us do not handle those things well, and it would be a consolation and a blessing to be surrounded by people who would never allow harm to come your way, right? People who would never, I mean, I've seen a lot of videos online of people getting drunk. They get so drunk and so wasted that they are literally throwing themselves in the gutters, on the road, doing all sort of crazy stuff, saying all sort of crazy stuff that kind of insults their character and what they stand for. And you will see this person's video released to the internet for the whole world to watch. And something I used to wonder is, who filmed these people? Like, who filmed this person? Who filmed this lady while, she was, embarrassing herself like this? It is their friends, the friends that they are surrounded by. Those are the same people who pick up their phones and record them and post these things online. Those are the friends that they are surrounded with. A divine feminine woman would never watch you embarrass yourself like that. She would never ever watch you in a situation where, no matter what you're going through, a situation where you put your crown down and you give it to the pigs. They would never watch your crown fall off your head. That is why desire is very, very important. So the third thing that makes the divine feminine woman the ideal friend is her purpose. Now, like I said, just like every husband and every wife comes together to start a family, they always have a purpose for that union. They have, an agenda, they have a mission, for that union, for that relationship. And every board of directors and board of management that comes together to build a company, they always have a purpose for that company. So no kind of relationship, no kind of human relationship that involves commitment, that demands commitment,
can exist without a clear purpose.
So it can be that her purpose is to be to you the kind of sister you never had, or to be the mentor that you've always wanted, or to be the one who helps you achieve that great dream of yours. And at the same time, it could also be that they want to be the one at the forefront to witness your downfall, or they want to be the one to even promote your downfall, or they want to be the one to witness everything that goes wrong in your life. And that is all. Everyone always has a purpose. Everyone that stays actively in your life for a long time, they always have a purpose for being there. And like I always say, the purpose, their desire, everything always comes out from who they are and the energy that they radiate. So the divine feminine woman, she wants to protect your honor and your dignity, even on the days that you are too weak to do it yourself. And that is because this is the very definition of respect. And people can only respect who they know intimately, like who they know very well. People can only respect the people that they know. They can only extend that level of love toward the people that they actually know. That is to tell you that one of the most obvious purpose of the divine feminine woman is to know you, and to know you well. She is not interested in being in a relationship with you if she doesn't know who you are, and if she doesn't find you interesting enough to want to know you. So it always starts with she wanting to know you, just like she has known herself, and as she is knowing herself. So that is definitely one of her intentions and purpose. Whereas the toxic friend is only available for a time of merriment and cheer, and she might sing your praises like you are a queen. But in her eyes, should your crown ever fall, she would act like she did not notice and watch you in that situation without trying to improve it. Now, that is a key difference. The divine feminine friend is going to want to never see you in a situation that does not put you in your glory. Whereas the toxic feminine friend is literally going to watch you. She's literally going to completely act like she does not notice, or she is not aware, or she would literally watch you in that situation without doing anything to improve it. Or she will never be the one to help you pick up your crown. She will never be the one to help you get better. She will never be the one to help you get help. She will never be the one to help you in your darkest time. Why? Because deep down, she does not see you as a queen. She does not see you as your highest self. And that is why she can never ever be a comrade that would help you get to your highest self. Guys, you need to know the difference. Knowing the difference between a divine feminine woman and a toxic woman, quietly toxic or the loudly toxic. Usually, the loudly toxic women are very easy to spot, but the quietly toxic ones are usually the ones that kind of like get to that point where they're loudly toxic, but it just casually grows. So they are more quiet. They're not very detectable, right? So knowing the difference between these two women is literally important. The toxic feminine woman does not respect you. They do not respect you because they do not know you intimately. And they do not know you intimately because they don't know themselves like that. And they don't care about knowing you too. So how can someone respect you if they do not know you? Right? How can that happen? So they do not know you intimately, right? Which means that underneath those cute pictures and all those chairs and all those happy hours, they carry a spirit of neutrality or fear about you. And listen to me, guys, both of these emotions are breeding grounds for envy and enmity and all those crazy things that people talk about on the internet that has happened to them in a female friendship. These are breeding grounds. Now, breeding grounds does not necessarily mean that it is like a red alert threat, right? It just means that, see, that is a breeding ground. So if time and condition happens, it is from that breeding ground, that neutrality and that fear of you that they harbor deep down, that is where enmity and envy and all those other crazy things that friends have done to friends, that is where it starts to build up. So that is basically why they're in the toxic category. Because listen, guys, neutrality is very dangerous. A lot of the time, people tend to think that, fear is the more dangerous one. But if you are surrounded by people or a person who feels neutral about you, it is not good. It is dangerous. It is dangerous, right? Someone who does not know where they stand with you, someone who is double-minded. Today they're good with you, tomorrow they're not quite sure. Neutrality, it is not healthy. It is not healthy. Something is wrong somewhere. And usually when you see your friend trying to get to know you, it is better because it shows that as they try to know you, as they get to know you better, they can, like how their own energetic field feels around your own energetic field, it advances based on what they learn about you. So when they learn, interesting things or things that makes them want to be, more friendly towards you and more like good towards you, it is a good thing. Because it takes them out of that space of neutrality. So it is only a matter of time and chance and the right trigger for these people to go from, wow, she used to be my friend before. I used to trust her before. And that is how friendships can easily graduate into frenemies and full-blown enemies, right? There is so much to unpack in that point. And I am going to do a separate video that is going to break down how female friends go from friends to enemies and like what is going on underneath. So you guys know that I love the details. I love going underneath everything, right? So just to recap again, if you're like me and you're looking to make great and healthy divine feminine friendships this year, so you want to start by first making sure that you are a friend yourself, just like the Bible says, and two, you want to be able to spot a person who is a friend material. And a friend material, like I said, is a woman or a lady who is operating in her divine feminine energy. That is the age of her awareness. She is healing. She's working on herself. She's getting to know herself. She's on a journey of learning to love herself. So she has an abundance of all of that goodness going on, that, repair, that growth going on, that she can also pour into you potentially. So those are the kind of people you want to look out for this year. And how would you know that this person is a healthy friend, right? You know by her mindset and her attitude toward the friendship. You would also know by her desire toward you. You would also know by her purpose toward you. So guys, like I said, it is very, very important to know the difference between the divine feminine energy and the toxic feminine energy, both the quiet and the loud ones. Like I said, the loud, toxic feminine energy ladies are usually the easiest ones to spot. But the quietly toxic feminine are the ones who tend to deal on that neutral ground, and they are the ones you want to be very, very extra careful with, okay? I believe Vanessa Van Edwards talked about this, and she kind of labels them under ambivalent friendships, which is more toxic than even toxic friendships.
The relationships that are the most toxic are not the toxic relationships. They're actually the ambivalent relationships. It's ambivalence that drains us the most. It's like an app running in the background. It's draining you without even realizing it. Ambivalent tasks and ambivalent relationships are the same. Highly effective people are very good at not having anything ambivalent. Ambivalent means you're not sure if you love it or hate it. You could take it or leave it. You feel neutral often when you do it. That is actually more dangerous. I'll give you an example that happens the most with people. Ambivalent relationships are actually the hardest. You might have that friend where you see them on your calendar. You're like, oh yeah, should I cancel? I'm so tired. Or I'm not really looking forward to it, but we've been friends forever. It's been on the calendar for a long time. And you hang out with them and you wonder, is this fun? Or as my good friend says, is this fun or am I just fun? Right? Like sometimes really fun people can mask they're having fun. Actually, they're just fun, but they're not actually having any fun. So you're wondering, am I having fun or are they supporting me? Wait, was that passive aggressive? Why do I feel so tired? When you leave this friend and you think, oh, I should have just stayed home and watched Netflix. When you leave and you can't remember anything you talked about. When you leave and you question, do they really like me?
And I quite agree with her analysis. So guys, 2025 is going to be a great year. So I want you guys to be positive. I want you guys to understand that, true friendships actually exist in this world, and it can also happen for you. I believe it can happen for me, and I believe that it can happen for you too as well. If you find this video valuable, please share it with other women around the world. Let us share this message so that more women can learn, more women can be awakened to this reality and how they can do better on their own path, and how they can also spot great friends, help other women to also heal this year, help them to also locate that best friend that is just around the corner for them this year. And listen guys, another thing that just came to my mind right now that I want to talk about. A lot of times we talk about finding the friend, finding that friend. And I just want to let you guys know that sometimes we do not need to go very far to find such friends. A lot of times, those friends already exist within our circle. So while you're searching, another tip I would give you guys is to first look within your circle. Okay, look at the ladies within your circle, get to know them, get to see. Some of them might actually be on the same phase as well, where they're also looking to connect with, more friends. So share with us in the comment section which of the points you find most interesting or you relate to the most. And of course, guys, if you enjoy topics like this, consider subscribing to this channel. If you want like a follow-up or like a part 2 to this video, leave that request in the comment section. Thank you for watching this video up until the end, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.